Hi there, welcome to Floating Books. Today I'm going to be doing a live coloring with me. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. It is Sunday afternoon. I still need a video for this channel and it's dreary, it's a fall day, and I thought, why not color? And I've shown you some of my colorings and I've shown you all the tools I use, but I've never shown you like how I complete a page from start to finish. So I am going to do a little bit of a tutorial. I'm going to be speeding through things as well once I get to the coloring part itself, because I don't think it's going to be super interesting. And then I'll sort of explain a little bit what I'm doing once I go in with different techniques. And of course, I'll show you the finished result at the end. So I never really go in with a real plan of what I would like to do. So you're gonna see the page coming together live as I'm filming it as well. I'm gonna be coloring from The Spookies. This is by Miss Kitsch. This is one of my favorite books actually to color in. I have several of books by this creator, and I really love the drawing style in here. The lines aren't too thick nor too thin, so it's super easy to work with. So I've already picked out what page I want to be coloring from this, so that we can make a head start. So I've got my little protector here in the back that I got in Japan. It's been working a charm, as you will see in a second. So that really prevents any pages from any of the markers bleeding through. And I've decided to go with this little, I don't know what she's supposed to be. What character is this? I don't know, but it's sort of like a fortune teller kind of thing with a little crystal ball. So I think I want to do some sort of glow coming from this. And then we've got some like foliage here, but we also have the curtains, and apparently the background is like a starry night sky kind of thing. But I think I actually want to make it seem like it's a curtain in the background as well, like we're in a fortune teller's little hut. I think I want to do that. We also have some candles that have lights coming off of it. So I'm sort of thinking maybe blues and purples with some touches of green may be cool for this, now that I'm looking at the page. So it kind of just works like that in my brain. And then I usually add the details once I've colored everything in. So let me first see if there's any sort of markers that I want to use. So that's sort of how I make my color scheme nowadays. And what I try to do is that I try to stick to these markers and not select anything else. And I feel that that's the way you get a cohesive vibe in any page. So if you've been coloring and you struggle making your pages look cohesive, I think it's because you're picking out too many colors. I feel like working with a limiting color palette where you just have some lighter and darker shades that fit together is actually the way to go. So that's why I do really enjoy doing this. So let me get to coloring. right, so we finished what I like to think of as my flat coloring. So this is just the page after I've laid down most of my alcohol markers. You could also see me how I sort of use the fact that alcohol markers will bleed together for like the background here as well as the curtains to create some more movement. But now it's time to finish things off, and this is where things actually become fun. So now I'm gonna go in with things like gel pens, and I have this set of pens here, but those I don't think are the right colors for this. And I actually just recently invested in some new acrylic markers because I do have a bunch, but a lot of them aren't really good at coloring, like covering up any of the black lines. And I've heard great things about these shuttle art acrylic markers. So here's the entire set. So I think I'm just going to pick one of the yellows first to test it out and see if I can create some yellow glow around the things that need a bit of a glow. And then what I'll also do is that I'll go in with my white gel pen to add some highlights and things. And I actually want to see if I can make this crystal ball look more transparent. And I'm going to do that using a white charcoal pen. This is great. And then I use a little makeup brush to smudge that out. So it's time for details, really. And this is, like I said, this is where the fun things happen. So let me get to adding all the details so we can finish this page. right, so I don't think I can add anything more. I'll take the camera off the tripod in a second to show you a bit of a close-up of what I've done, but here is the finished page as far as I'm concerned. I'm sure I could do more, but I also don't want to overdo it. Like, I love seeing everyone's super textured colorings and stuff, but I want there to be like a balance between texture and flat. I just like the look of that, so I'm gonna leave it here. So this is what I came up with. So I ended up doing the character in the light purple that I had decided to use, and then the table in the dark, like grayish blue that I selected, like the darkest blue. And I think that that worked out pretty well, because this way we have a nice bit of contrast between everything. Yet everything still goes together, which is one of the reasons why I like sticking to a very limited color palette, is so that all the colors are somewhere on the page and it's a little bit balanced. I went with that light green here, as well as in the candle, as in these like feathers or whatever it is that's on their head, because that way we have a little bit of that sprinkle of that brighter green everywhere. I've also used a bit of the bright green in the foliage here, but then that dark green is not only in the foliage, it's also in some of the books, and a little bit of the candy here. So that way your eye doesn't really know where to look. I ended up loving the way the crystal ball came out. I really think it adds a bit of glow, and of course I did use a little bit of the blue from the crystal to have it reflect in some of the articles that are closest to the crystal ball, to showcase that there's a little bit of glow going on everywhere. And like I said, I like using alcohol markers to already create some texture on the page, so that once you go in with your gel pens and your acrylics, it's just adding the finishing touches, really. So especially in these like larger pieces, I really like that technique, because it's a lot more forgiving than trying to color a larger area like I did in the table. So it's also a great way to cover things up if you want to. And then of course I did go to town and sort of made the background like super sparkly, and I even used a bit of like gold metallic marker and some different acrylics that I have, and then like different like white and gel pen and paint marker and stuff. So this way I feel we get a little bit of everything, and then just a couple of highlights to bring the entire page together. So that's what I ended up doing, and I think it worked out pretty well. And I really like purple and green together. It's like one of my favorite color combos, so I'm really happy with the way it came out. Let me know in a comment down below how much you enjoy this page, and then I'll quickly be doing a close-up, which I'll insert right here. And then I want to thank you so very much for joining me here today. Let me know if this is something you would like to see me do more often. Currently, I'm really enjoying doing pages like this. I don't think I'll have anything new to show you anytime soon. But yeah, let me know if this is something you would want to see me do more often. I definitely got some requests once I started sharing my coloring journey on here, which is why I wanted to do this. So thanks so much for being here, and check back next week when I have a new video for you on this channel. See you then. Bye-bye.